4 days ago, Amazon cut every product title down to 75 characters. Sellers woke up on the 27th of July to find their listings chopped off mid-word, half their keywords simply gone. Titles that used to read like a full paragraph now ending in the middle of a thought. And the strange part, the part almost nobody has said out loud yet, is that this one quiet change is about to make some sellers a fortune and quietly bankrupt others, and most of them have no idea which group they are in. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly which side of that line your product sits on, and a single move you can make tonight to make sure you land on the winning side. Because this is not a formatting tweak. This is Amazon rewriting the rules of how anything gets found on the biggest store on earth, and the reason they did it is not the reason almost anyone is guessing. So let me tell you what actually changed, because most of the panic going around right now is aimed at the wrong thing. For years, an Amazon product title could run long. Depending on the category, you could stretch it to 150, 200, sometimes more characters, and sellers used every inch of that space. They crammed it full. A title was not a name, it was a billboard stuffed with search terms. You have seen them 1,000 times. Something like premium stainless steel insulated water bottle, 32-ounce, leak-proof, wide-mouth, BPA, free for gym travel, office sports, hot-cold. That is not a product name. That is a keyword dump wearing the costume of a title. And on the 27th, Amazon walked in and said, 75 characters. Everything after that is gone. Overnight, half of that billboard vanished. But here is the first twist I need you to hold on to, because it is the beating heart of this whole thing. Amazon did not just shorten your title. They changed what a title is even for. And once you understand that, the panic flips into an opportunity, which I will get to, but not yet. So why would Amazon do this at all? On the surface it looks almost hostile. Sellers spent years optimizing those long titles. Whole agencies were built around getting the perfect keyword stuffed title, and Amazon just erased that work in a single afternoon. The lazy explanation floating around is that Amazon wants cleaner listings, that they think stuffed titles look spammy and hurt the shopping experience. And that is true, but it is the surface of the truth, not the engine underneath it. Because if you look at where Amazon has been quietly pushing for the last 2 years, a much bigger picture snaps into focus. Amazon has been rebuilding its entire search brain, and the old system, the one that rewarded keyword stuffing, is being switched off. The 75-character cut is not the change, it is a symptom of the change. And the actual change is the thing that decides whether your product survives the next 2 years or slowly disappears. Stay with me, because in a minute this is going to flip completely. Here is what most sellers never understood about the old Amazon. For over a decade, Amazon search ran on an algorithm people nicknamed A9. And A9 was at its core a matching machine. It looked at the words a shopper typed, and it looked at the words in your listing, and it tried to match them. That is why titles mattered so obscenely much. If someone searched leak-proof water bottle, and those 3 words appeared in your title, you had a shot at showing up. If they did not, you were invisible. So the entire game became obvious. Get every possible search term into the title, because the title carried the most weight of any field. Keyword density in the title was for years one of the strongest ranking levers there was. It genuinely worked. And that is exactly why sellers built those monstrous, unreadable 180-character titles. They were not stupid. They were playing the game that was actually in front of them, and playing it correctly. The problem is the game changed underneath them, and Amazon did not send a memo. Because starting around 2 years ago, Amazon began rolling out a new search system, one built on the same kind of AI that powers the chatbots you already use. Instead of just matching words, it tries to understand intent. It reads your listing the way a person would, and it reads the shopper's search the way a person would, and it connects them by meaning, not by literal overlap. In this new world, stuffing the word leak-proof into your title 3 times does absolutely nothing, because the system already understands your bottle is leak-proof from the bullet points, the description, the reviews, and the images. The keyword repetition that used to be your superpower is now just noise. Worse than noise, actually, because a cluttered title reads as low quality to a system that is trying to judge quality. So the 75 character limit is Amazon doing something almost blunt. They are forcing sellers to stop feeding the old machine, because the old machine is being unplugged and the new one finds a clean, clear, human-readable title far more attractive than a wall of keywords. And this is the part nobody is talking about, so let me say it plainly. The sellers who are panicking are the ones who never noticed the machine had already changed. Now, remember how I said this change would make some sellers rich and quietly ruin others? Here is where that splits, and it is sharper than you would expect. Picture two sellers side by side, both selling a similar product. Seller 1 is a real brand, they have a clean name, they have distinct products, they have decent images, and their title was already fairly short because their brand did some of the work of getting found. Seller 2 is a generic reseller, no real brand, a forgettable string of letters for a store name, a product identical to 50 others, and a title that was 90% keywords because keywords were the only thing that ever brought them traffic. When Amazon slices both titles to 75 characters, Seller 1 barely feels it. Their title was already close to that, but Seller 2 just lost the entire mechanism that kept them alive. All those long-tail keyword matches gone. And because their product has no brand, no differentiation, nothing else pulling shoppers in, their traffic does not dip. It collapses. Same change, two completely opposite outcomes. And which one you are is decided by a question you probably never asked yourself, which I will get to at the very end, because it is the whole point. But first, let me kill a myth that is causing half the bad advice online right now, because if you believe it, you will make exactly the wrong move this week. The myth is that shorter titles mean you lose your keywords, so you are now doomed to rank for fewer searches. That is completely backwards, and here is why. Your title was never the only place Amazon read your keywords, it was just the loudest. Amazon indexes your bullet points, your product description, your A+ content, and most importantly, a hidden field most casual sellers forget even exists, called backend search terms. Backend search terms are keywords you enter that shoppers never see, but Amazon reads and ranks you for. You get a couple hundred bytes of them, and for years the biggest sellers have quietly stuffed their real keyword strategy back there, keeping their visible title clean while still ranking for everything. So the keywords you are being forced to remove from your title do not have to disappear. They move off the billboard and into the machinery, and a listing with a clean 75-character title plus a fully loaded backend actually outperforms the old stuffed title in the new system because it looks high quality to shoppers and stays fully indexed for search. It gets worse for the panickers and better for the prepared, which is the pattern for this entire change. So let me show you what a title should actually look like now, because the structure matters more than ever when you only get 75 characters to work with. Think of those characters as the most expensive real estate you own, because they are the one thing that shows on every single search result, on mobile, on desktop, everywhere. You want, roughly in this order, your brand name first, then your single most important keyword, the exact phrase a real human would type to find this product, then the one or two features that actually decide the sale, and if there is room, the size or count. That is it. So our water bottle stops being that 180 character monster and becomes something like Hydro Peak insulated water bottle, leak-proof, 32 O's, clean, readable. A human understands it in half a second, and the AI understands it perfectly, and every keyword you dropped is now sitting in the backend where it still counts. The 75 character limit did not shrink your reach. It forced you to prioritize, and prioritizing is exactly what the new algorithm rewards. But even a perfect title is only half the battle, because there is a second force at work here that most sellers have not even registered yet, and it is bigger than search. Here is that second force, and this is the part that changes everything. Amazon now has an AI shopping assistant built into the app and the site. You can talk to it, ask it to find you the best leak-proof bottle for the gym under $30, and it answers in plain language, comparing products for you, and often recommending just one or two. Think about what that does to the old game. When a shopper stops scrolling through 20 results and instead asks an AI to just pick the best one, your keyword stuffed title is not just useless, it is invisible, because the shopper never sees a page of titles at all. The AI is reading your entire listing, your reviews, your images, your price, your return rate, and making a judgment about which product is genuinely best for that specific person. In that world, a clean title is not about matching a search anymore. It is about being clearly, confidently understood by a machine that is about to recommend one product to a customer who trusts it completely. Amazon shortened titles because Amazon is preparing for a future where fewer and fewer people ever read a title at all. They are cleaning up the data so their AI can make better recommendations, and the 75-character cut is step one of that migration, quietly rolled out on a Sunday in July while everyone argued about the wrong thing. And that reframes this whole panic into something almost obvious in hindsight. For 15 years, winning on Amazon meant winning the keyword game, gaming a matching algorithm with volume and repetition. That era is closing. The new era rewards something much harder to fake and much more valuable if you have it. It rewards actually being the better product. A clear title, honest images, real reviews, a low return rate, a fair price, and a brand a machine can recognize and a human can trust. All of that is now the ranking signal because the AI is trying to answer one question for the shopper: is this genuinely the best choice? And no amount of keyword stuffing can fake the answer to that. So the sellers who spent the last few years quietly building a real brand and a genuinely good product are about to get rewarded harder than ever, while the ones who survived purely on keyword tricks are watching the ground disappear under them. Same store, same shoppers, same products, and yet the entire basis of who wins just quietly inverted. So think back to those two sellers, the real brand and the generic reseller, because this is where it lands. The reseller is panicking, refreshing forums, asking how to cram their keywords back into 75 characters, trying to win the old game harder. That is the trap. There is no winning the old game, because the old game is over. The brand, meanwhile, is doing something completely different. They are cleaning their title to be crisp and human, moving their keyword strategy into the backend, sharpening their images and their reviews, and making sure that when Amazon's AI reads their listing, it sees a clear, trustworthy, obviously good product. One of these sellers is fighting the change, the other is riding it. And the difference between them is not budget, and it is not luck. It is whether they understood what the 75-character cut actually was. It was never about the title. It was Amazon telling you in the bluntest way they could that the age of tricking the algorithm is done, and the age of being the best answer has begun. And let me pull the camera back for a second, because there is a lesson buried in here that reaches far past Amazon. Every platform you sell on, search, social, marketplaces, all of them, is quietly making the same shift at the same time. They are all moving from matching words to understanding meaning, from rewarding whoever games the system to rewarding whoever is genuinely the best answer to a real person's real question. The tricks that worked for a decade are being retired one by one on quiet Sundays without a memo. And the sellers who survive the next few years will be the ones who stopped asking how do I beat the algorithm and started asking a much simpler, much older question. Is my product actually the one this customer should buy? Because that is the only question the new machines are trying to answer, and it is the only one you can never fake your way around. So here is exactly what to do tonight, in about 20 minutes before you lose another day of traffic to this change. Step 1. Open your best-selling listing and read your title out loud. If it does not sound like something a human would say, if it is a run on string of keywords, you are already behind, and every hour it stays that way, it is bleeding rank in the new system. Step 2. Rewrite it in 75 characters using the order I gave you. Brand, then your single most important keyword, then the one or two features that actually close the sale, then size or count if it fits. Make it clean enough that a stranger understands the product in one glance. Step 3, and do not skip this, take every keyword you just removed and load it into your backend search terms field so you stay fully indexed for all of it. Invisible to shoppers, fully visible to Amazon. Step 4, and this is the one almost nobody will actually do. Stop optimizing for the machine and start auditing your product like a shopper. Open your listing on a phone, the way 90% of your traffic sees it. Look at your main image the way a bored thumb scrolling at midnight would. Read your top 3 reviews, check your return rate. Because in a world where an AI is about to recommend one product to a customer who trusts it, your title is just the doorway, and everything behind that door is now the ranking signal. Fix the title tonight, but understand that the title was only ever the alarm bell. The real work, the work that pays for the next 5 years, is being the product the machine has no choice but to recommend. So let me answer the question I opened with as cleanly as I can. Yes, 4 days ago Amazon cut every product title to 75 characters. And yes, for a lot of sellers it felt like waking up robbed, but it was never a punishment. It was a signal sent in the bluntest possible way that the 15-year era of winning by stuffing keywords into a title is finished, and the era of winning by being the genuinely best answer has already quietly begun. The sellers who panic and try to cram the old game into 75 characters are going to slowly disappear. The sellers who clean their title, move their keywords into the machinery, and sharpen the actual product are going to look up in a year and wonder why they are suddenly winning. Amazon did not shorten your title. Amazon told you which seller you have been all along and gave you exactly 1 week to decide which one you want to be next. If this changed how you read that little line of text at the top of every listing, subscribe, because the next video breaks down the exact backend search term strategy the top 1% of sellers use to stay fully indexed while their titles stay clean. The 3 listing signals Amazon's AI weighs most heavily now, and a single image change that quietly lifts conversion more than any keyword ever did.